Welcome everybody in the lecture hall. Welcome everybody on Zoom. Welcome everybody watching us numerously from the future on YouTube. Today I'm going to finish MapReduce and then we'll jump to the next part on Apache Spark. So MapReduce is the first time that we actually query data. We read it and we query it. And you saw that we had a phase in parallel called mapping, right? Where we map every key value pair to intermediate key value pairs. Then we shuffle around. We make sure that all the intermediate key value pairs are grouped by key. And then we have a second phase called reduce, where typically we aggregate the intermediate key values into output key values. But in fact, you can also use any generic reduce function. Now I wanted to finish with a tricky point. You might remember that we organized the mapping phase with tasks, right? So we have all these billions of key values, and maybe we have partitions with 100,000 key values in every partition, right? So with 1 billion key values in total. I told you that every task consists in calling sequentially the map function on every key value, and then every map slot is going to process the tasks one by one, and then you have the slots in parallel that corresponds to the machines and to the CPUs, and then they process these. And then I told you, how do we make these partitions? Well, in fact, if we read the data from HDFS, we're just going to take the HDFS blocks as partitions. Every HDFS block gives you one partition. Right, so we have, I'm talking specifically about the map tasks here, even though for the reduce we also have tasks. Right. So we have these splits, which are the partitions of the input right there. One for every task, and one for every block in HDFS. But there is a small problem that arises when we try to do that, when we try to say there is one split for every block, is that a block in HDFS is at most 128 megabytes, right? You remember that, 128 megabytes. HDFS doesn't care about the content of the blocks, it's just bits. So it counts 128 megabytes, end of the block, next block. But in MapReduce, a split is not just bits. A split is made of key value pairs, right? A split is just a subset of the key value pairs of your entire collection. Now, do you see the problem? Because a key value pair might not exactly end with an HDFS block. You might have a key value pair that starts at the end of an HDFS block and that continues in the HDFS block. In fact, if you compute the odds of being so lucky that a key value ends exactly at the end of an HDFS block, it's like winning the lottery, right? Because you have the odds of that are small. So in reality, because of this, because the HDFS blocks are based on bits and the MapReduce splits are based on key value pairs, there is an impedance mismatch because of that last key value in the block that might go over two of them. So it's not exact, this correspondence between the logical splits and the physical blocks. So it means that when we process a block in MapReduce, typically the execution of the map function is going to be on the same machine on which there is a replica of the block, so it's a local read. But for the last few bits that you need to finish the key value, then you might still need to read a little bit from another machine, right? So there is this small overhead that we need to be aware of, but it's taken care of by the MapReduce implementation. Who is with me? Right? So it's just this difference between logical and physical, and except if you win at the lottery, it's happening all the time, right? The odds of exactly ending at the end are very small. Now, it turns out that MapReduce is very low level because you need to write code in Java or Python or whatever language you're using, and it can be a bit cumbersome. So some people came up with a framework. Actually, there's many frameworks, but one of them is Apache Pig. That is a language, Pig Latin, that allows you to express MapReduce pipelines in a more high-level way, right? So that's an example of framework. It looks like this. You see filter is going to be a map function. Then you group, you specify, of course, loads, which data you're reading, and so on, right? And dump score count is the output, right? You dump it somewhere. By the way, en passant, The data types of Apache Pig should not surprise you because, as I told you, it's always the same. The names might vary, so you shouldn't be surprised to see int, long, float, double, some binary stuff, Boolean, date, time, integer, decimal, tuple, bag map. So a tuple is like, in that case, that would be a list, what they call a tuple. A bag could be, a map would be an object, and so on, right? So you shouldn't be surprised by the type system, right? But that was just to tell you that. And there's many other frameworks that were introduced. Apache Phoenix introduces, guess what, SQL on top of MapReduce. Hive also does the same, introduces SQL on top of MapReduce. Sorry, Phoenix is directly on HBase. Hive is on top of MapReduce, right, where you implement SQL. Spark we will see in a bit. Trino, Presto are other frameworks, and Flink. But what they have in common is that they bring SQL back on a higher level. And then the actual people who use these systems just need to write SQL queries. So you see how it was useful to learn SQL at the beginning of the semester. Okay, but anyway, why is that? I should reset it, because otherwise that's, let me just, wait a moment before I reset it, if I find a way. MapReduce. There you go. And clear results. Let's see if that has any effect on what I'm doing here. Yes, it had an effect. So now you can proceed and vote. Very close, good. So that's again your way to accelerate me, slow me down, Okay, so it looks good. The pace is good. So the end of MapReduce it is, and now to Spark, to proceed, we are going.